everyone. Today we will continue about our topic speaking about sequences and series. Okay, last class we said that we have two types of sequences. The first one, which is the arithmetic sequence, the second one, which is the geometric sequences. When we are speaking about the arithmetic sequences, in this type of sequences we have a constant difference between each term and the other one. So if you want to move from one term to another term, you have to add a constant, which is in this case we call this d. That's why it's an addition operation when it comes to arithmetic sequence. While in geometric sequence, instead of having addition between these terms, we have multiplication. So to move from one term to another one, we have to multiply this by the constant, which is r in this case. That's why we call this geometric sequence. So multiplication for geometric sequence to move from one term to another one, while in arithmetic sequences we have addition to move from one term to another one. We have the constant, which is the difference constant between this, we call this d, while in geometric sequences we have r. We said also that for the arithmetic sequence we have two main formulas. These two main formulas tell us about the nth term and the partial sum of this sequence. So let's take this as an example about the arithmetic sequences. In this case, if we have a1 the first term and an is the nth term, n is number of terms and Sn is the sum of these n terms, we can immediately use these two formulas. An, which is equals to a1 plus n minus 1d, and the other one for the sum, which is Sn equals n over 2 a1 plus an. So guys, once I have a questions, in this question I have an arithmetic sequence, immediately I can use these two formulas, because this is a general formula for any arithmetic sequence. Let's take an example how to use these formulas. Let's look at this example. He's asking me if you have this arithmetic sequence with a15 equal 38 and d, which is the difference between these two terms, is -3, find a1, which is the first term. So in this example we have a1, or we need a1, which is x, we don't know this. An in this case is 38, n is 15, Sn we don't know it, and d, the common difference between the terms, is -3. So to find the first term we can use the formula, which is an equals a1 plus n minus 1d. So guys, as I told you, this formula is a general formula for the arithmetic sequences. Instead of an, we have 38, we need a1 because it's the first term, n is 15, and d is -3. So we substitute each one of these variables to get a1, which is the first term in this example. Another one. In this example, he's telling me find the sum of these terms, which has the index 63. The first term is -90, -13, -7. Let's take a look what do we have in this example. So a1, which is -90, an, we don't know it, n, the number of terms, 63, and x, which is the summation or the sum of these terms, we don't know it, we need it, and d is 6. How did we get this 6, guys? We just take two terms, we take the difference between these two terms and we get 6. So negative 7, negative 13, this would give us 6, or negative 13, negative 19, this would give us 6. Okay then, so we can use the formulas of the arithmetic sequence. an, as we know, equals a1, which is negative 90 in this case, plus n, which is 63, minus 1 multiplied by d is 6. We substitute, we find a 63, 353. Okay, to find the S63, we take the formula, which is n over 2a1 plus an. We already have a1. For an, we already calculate this. So negative 90 plus this number, this would lead us to S63. Guys, or we can use the second formula for finding the sum of these n terms. We have another formula, but I prefer this one. So guys, we have two formulas to find an and sn for the arithmetic sequence. Now let's get back to the geometric sequence. After we have been talking about the arithmetic sequences, and we said that we have two formulas, the an and the sn, we have also the same formulas, not exactly the same formulas, but we have a formula for the geometric sequences. Let's take a look at these formulas. If we have a geometric sequences, the first term is a1, the nth an and n, and sn as the sum of terms. R, as we said, it's a common ratio. Why it's a common ratio? Because it's not addition or subtraction, it's a multiplication. So to find this R, we take two terms, we divide these two terms to get the common ratio between these two terms. So let's take a look at these formulas. To find the an, which is the nth term of a geometric sequence, immediately we can use these formula. a1 equals a1 multiplied by r n negative 1. While to find the sum of the first n terms of a geometric sequence, we can use sn equals to a1 multiplied by 1 minus r to power n over 1 minus r. And we have another formula for sn. We multiply this a1 by 1 and r negative 1 to get this, but I prefer, guys, this formula and this formula. So basically we have two formulas for the geometric sequence and two formulas for the arithmetic sequence. Let's take an example about the geometric sequence. Okay, guys, in this example we have a geometric sequence. The first term in this sequence is a1, which is 1 over 2, while the common ratio between the terms, or r, equal to 2 over 3 is asking me to find a9. So n in this case, guys, is 9, while the first term is 1 over 2, n is 9, and r is 2 over 3. So we can find the nth term and we can find the sum of the n terms by using the formulas. So let's start by finding an. an by the formula equals to a1 multiplied by r n negative 1. So immediately instead of a1 we have half, instead of r we have 2 over 3. We calculate this formula, we find an. This is an for the geometric sequence. To find the summation, guys, or the sum of n terms, we can use the formula of this geometric sequence. The formula, as we said in the previous slide, is Sn equals a1 1 minus Rn over 1 minus R. So immediately we can substitute these numbers in the formula to find Sn. So basically two formulas for each one of these sequences to find an, which is the nth term, in the summation or the sum of n terms. Hope you enjoyed the class, guys. Thank you.